Mobile phones have undoubtedly revolutionized global communication. As their popularity increases continuously, concern is growing about the effects of exposure to radiofrequency electromagnetic waves, or RFEMW, on biological tissues. Divergent opinions exist regarding whether or not prolonged exposure to wireless devices can have negative health effects. While a number of studies indicate that Wi-Fi can have negative effects, according to other reports, the radio frequency signals emitted by wireless networks pose no threat to our systems because they are too weak to cause harm. But what is the truth? First, we must define electromagnetic radiation. With the proliferation of handheld electronic devices, electromagnetic radiation, or EMR, has become a new source of pollution that is cause for concern. Within modern society, it has a close relationship with human life and originates from various electrical systems such as communication base stations, mobile phones, microwave ovens, high voltage lines, electronic instruments, and similar electromagnetic equipment. EMR generates electromagnetic waves of varying frequencies, resulting in an increase in EMR intensity in our living environments. The high-frequency waves have sufficient energy to cause ionization, but non-ionizing electromagnetic waves, such as ultraviolet, infrared, microwave, and radio waves, are widely used in daily life, particularly radiofrequency electromagnetic fields for communications, and the extremely low-frequency EMFs generated by electricity. Globally, the biological effects of EMR have attracted considerable interest. The interaction of EMR with human organs, particularly the brain, is currently the subject of the most research. Numerous studies have demonstrated that the nervous system is a particularly sensitive organ target. In recent years, a growing number of studies have focused on the neurobiological effects of EMR, including the metabolism and transport of neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters play crucial roles in cognitive and emotional behavior as messengers of synaptic transmission, and it is well understood that the neural circuit is the structural basis of brain function, and that the brain functions through the interaction of various brain regions and numerous neurotransmitters. Therefore, the modulatory effect of EMR on neurotransmitter levels in diverse brain regions may play a crucial role in brain function. Multiple studies indicate that exposure to RF, EMR, or microwave radiation can induce an imbalance of AMI neurotransmitters in various brain regions. Let's take dopamine as an example. Dopamine is a key neurotransmitter in the hypothalamus, primarily responsible for reward-related learning, emotion, motor control, and executive functions. It is also associated with psychiatric and neurological disorders such as Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, and Huntington's. There is a connection and interaction between gonadotropin-releasing hormone and dopamine in nerve endings. Dopamine inhibits the secretion of gonadotropin-releasing hormones. Parkinson's disease patients exhibit a deficiency of dopamine in the basal ganglia. Now, a study involving adult rats exposed to EMR for an hour per day at a frequency of 1800 MHz revealed some intriguing results. After 2 months of exposure and 1 month after exposure cessation, there was a significant decrease in dopamine levels in the hippocampus. The study revealed that exposure to EMR may reduce dopamine production in the hippocampus, affect arousal, and contribute to a decline in learning and memory, but these are not the only effects. Norepinephrine is primarily secreted in the brain by sympathetic postganglionic neurons and adrenergic nerve endings. The release of norepinephrine in the brain is involved in stress, attention, sleep, inflammation, and autonomic nervous system responses. After 30 days of continuous EMR exposure for 2 hours per day, the levels of norepinephrine and epinephrine in rat hippocampal tissue decreased significantly, causing neurotransmitter production disturbances. Low levels of norepinephrine can also cause depression, ADHD, and low blood pressure. These effects are long-lasting, but they are not limited to the brain and nervous system because we carry cell phones in our pockets more often than not. EMR has a significant effect on our reproductive organs as well. It is known that wireless radiation increases the production of free radicals within our bodies, causing oxidative stress. Free radicals are unstable atoms that can damage cells, thereby facilitating disease and aging. Increased oxidative stress also causes oxidative damage to macromolecules such as proteins, lipids, and DNA. Phone companies, including Apple, are also aware of this fact, which is why they include a crucial detail in their user manual: you cannot hold the phone directly next to your body without exceeding the as-tested exposure. All smartphones come with information and warnings stating that, if we keep them in our pockets, we will exceed the maximum exposure allowed by the manufacturer. Three major studies have reported the effects of the microwave radiation emitted by mobile phones on male reproductive hormones and human subjects. Subjects with a smoking history, stressful work conditions, and systemic diseases were excluded from all of the studies. The testosterone level after exposure to RFEMR from a mobile phone was reported differently in each of the three studies in a long-term, 6-year study conducted by Skander and a team of volunteers. However, all three studies indicated a gradual decrease in testosterone level with increasing exposure time. 6 years of exposure resulted in the most significant decline. Jared Dawn and his colleagues found no significant changes in testosterone levels in a 4-week study involving exposure to mobile phones over a shorter duration. The study conducted by Good Kai and a group of men attending infertility clinics revealed that mobile phone users have remarkably high testosterone levels, but the duration of their exposure was not specified. In the same study, the exposed group experienced a significant decline in luteinizing hormone (LH) levels. Infertility, low sex drive, earlier delayed puberty, and children can result from a deficiency in LH levels. In the case of female reproductive health, radiation exposure has been shown to reduce the production of estrogen and progesterone, which are necessary for reproduction, as well as LH levels, resulting in infertility and irregular menstrual cycles. In a study conducted on baby rats, it was found that our mobile phone use affects more than just ourselves. Dr. Deborah Davis discusses prenatal exposure effects. In addition, the prenatally exposed rats exhibited increased anxiety, impaired memory, and elevated hyperactivity. People are more concerned about a decades-old rumor that wireless radiation causes cancer than they are about reproductive health and brain health. In the same address, Dr. Davis describes a woman who, after years of carrying her cell phone in her bra, experienced alarming consequences. Here, I'd like to present our first case report from 2009. We now have significantly more. This was a Chinese-American woman who drove for 10 years while using her cell phone for 4 hours a day in her bra. When you're driving with a phone in your car, it constantly travels from one cell tower to the next, transmitting its location to each tower. After reviewing a substantial amount of research in this field, the World Health Organization concluded that mobile phone radiation may cause cancer. If you begin using mobile phones before the age of 20, as is common today, you are 4 to 8 times more likely to develop brain cancer 10 years later. Given the current state of the world, it is impossible to completely abandon mobile phones. How can we protect ourselves from EMR if it is everywhere? Wherever we go. Numerous health committees around the world have already advocated for the public to be educated on the dangers of constantly carrying a cell phone or using